Can you beat Neon White without ever touching the ground? Neon White is a platformer/shooter where you travel through levels, slaying demons with epic weapons, touching the ground a lot. There are a sparse number of benches and boxes, but will that be enough to traverse throughout all the levels? The rules are simple. The ground is off limits, but railings, wooden planks and boxes, vases, benches, docks, and pretty much anything that isn't the ground is allowed. The only thing that I haven't mentioned is water, and I'm gonna give you 3 guesses as to whether or not that's on fire. The only other rule I added is that for levels that start on the ground, I have to immediately jump to the nearest railing or strip of water. With all that being said, let's start at level 1. I immediately jumped into the water and used the Devon-headed skip to fly right by a bunch of different platforms. That brought me to these brown boxes, which I used to get up to a different set of wooden planks and then to a wooden dock. But now I need to get across this gap. If I make it to the donut with water on it, I can easily travel around and jump into the finish. But a simple jump doesn't give nearly enough distance, so I tried everything. I jumped to every wall, ridge, and platform, but I couldn't find anything. Some of the textures on the walls let you stand on them, but there's also a lot that's purely aesthetic and doesn't allow you to stand on them, which ruled out almost anything I could think of. After 12 minutes, I was close to giving up and marking this challenge as impossible. But then I found it. You can jump and stand on this ledge here, which gives you just enough height to make it onto these pillars over here. You can traverse across to the second pillar, and then with a well-timed jump, you can make it over to the second set of pillars, letting you jump onto the water and finish the level. Level 2 requires us to kill these 7 demons, but first I had to get over to them. I jumped from this boat onto a ledge beneath the main platform, which let me jump up and onto this guardrail. From there, I was able to jump to the demons, take them all out by jumping on them, and then finish the level. After starting level 3, I decided to go around and start killing enemies so I didn't have to worry about them later. After that, I tried the skip in the level where you jump off of this demon, but I don't have anywhere to land, so that strat's a no-go. Instead, I decided to shoot him as well and then launch myself onto this pillar. From there, I can again launch myself into this weird waterway. I was careful not to fall off before jumping onto this vase. The only weapon I have to kill the final enemies is a sword, so I tested it out and it turns out you can stand on enemies' heads to kill them. So I sliced them up and jumped into the portal. In level 4, I had to jump onto an edge to get up onto this guy's head, which I was then able to kill and use the handgun he dropped to get up here. From there, I needed to get to the water on the platform above me, and to do that, I needed the gun on the ground. I can't walk normally on the ground, so instead I had to jump, and before I touched the ground, activate its discard ability and just barely make it to the platform safely. After that, I had to do some very weird platforming onto rails and onto the little ridges on the walls, and finally make a blind jump onto some wooden planks on the floor, which I could use to jump all the way to the end of the level. Level 5 started out with me breaking and jumping off a chest to get a handgun and then landing on an enemy's head to kill him and get the weapon he drops. Then I jumped to these wooden planks and had to pick up this handgun and only use one to get up to this base looking thing up here. I could then kill and jump off of this guy to get over here. With the one leftover handgun, I jumped through these arches and died. For the first time in this challenge. All of the yellow guys have a lot of HP, and while I'm standing on their head, it's hard to miss me, so I take a lot of damage. The next time through, I made sure to fire 2 shots ahead of time to get them down to 1 HP before finishing them off with no damage taken. This let me blow up the final 2 enemies and finish the level. The next level is very interesting. You're intended to pick up this handgun and bring it all the way to this wall to get past it. But the handgun's on the ground, so I have no way to pick it up without touching the ground. I can't immediately activate it as I'm supposed to save it for later also. I messed around for a while until I discovered this. I'm able to jump from this ledge to the bench. So, in theory, I might be able to go just wide enough to pick up the gun, but also land on the bench without touching the ground. After resetting countless times, I finally got it. Hopped the wall and then jumped off demon balloons all the way to the top. Level 7 was pretty straightforward. After a rocky start, shooting open this door and then doing a very tight jump to land in the water, it was a simple matter of staying on railing and rooftops to kill all the enemies. The only interesting part was at the end when I had to jump on all the enemies' heads to kill them with my katana as I didn't have a ranged weapon left. If you're enjoying the video and want to see more like this every Monday, then hit the subscribe button. Thank you. You can skip the first part of level 8 entirely before the fun begins. For the first 2 jumps, I aimed to land on railings. Then after the second jump, I got onto this pillar to make it to the red platform, which I could then use to skip a normal platform and make it to the second red platform. You have to blindly jump and then quickly adjust to get onto this rail here. You can slowly make your way to the end of the rail and then launch yourself onto the long stretch of water. After that is the final 2 jumps, which, while sketchy, are very doable and not too precise. Level 9 was a nice break from thinking. Almost all the platforming happens on paths made of water, so after a skip right here followed by a backward shot to take care of this guy, it was smooth sailing right into the ending portal. Level 10 is a long level with a lot of enemies, but thankfully it starts off easily. There are some massive wooden docks, and railings that I can use to travel between them. After doing some parkour up onto the benches, I reached the hardest part of this level. I have to quickly react and shoot the purple balls to launch me into the air 3 times before landing on this railing. I use my final Purify gun to blow up this door and jump inside where there are thankfully several benches I can jump off of. From there, I found a massive strip of water that lasts the entire rest of the level. I conserved weapons where I could just to be safe, and made sure not to walk off the water before launching myself into the ending portal. It took a lot of time to make this, so if you wouldn't mind subscribing and liking, it would mean the world to me. I upload every Monday, and if you have any video ideas, then make sure to leave them in the comments below, and I'll give them a shot. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.